Okay, our next topic is trust, empowerment, and self-managed teams. I'm putting three concepts together here. If the employees just aren't going to trust the manager, in fact, right off the bat. In fact, it usually goes the other way around. I call it theory X and Y upside down. Does the employee, what do they think of the managers? And with past experiences and just the natural fear that the employee has going into the workplace, there's often a little bit of abrasion and a lack of trust with management. Now, it's management's job or the leader's job to build trust. And I think if you've had any work experience, you've had experiences where you didn't trust management, you probably didn't expect to be treated fairly. It just seems like the power, is out of balance, and it is. So it's important for the manager to build trust. And how are we going to do that? Well, the book has several suggestions for us. Communicate. It means a lot to an employee if the boss would just, yes, and I'm going to call it the boss. The boss would communicate. And here again, build a relationship. Go visit and communicate with the employee. That makes trust begin to happen. And I don't know if you've had the manager, but the communication needs to be honest. It's almost embarrassing that I have to put "be honest" up there, but in the past I've had some managers that told crazy stories. They flat out just lied to you, and you knew they were lying. And after they've done this about 3 times, there is no way you can trust these people. So communicate and be honest. The stories I've heard are just ridiculous. And why do they feel the need to impress me? Maybe it's because that builds up their power distance or something. So then we have be supportive. This is a big problem around town. The manager / leader needs to be available and approachable. Most managers do everything they can to come off as being unapproachable. They don't want you to ask questions that they might not be able to answer. So to be available and approachable, the best way you can be approachable is to take the ball and go out and do your leadership by wandering around. Don't expect them to come to you if you're hiding in the office, barricaded by this big door. And so the next concept we have is the open door policy. That's not good enough if you ask me. I would call it the no door policy. Take the damn door off the hinges and throw it away or turn it into a table or something. You can't just say, you can come to me with all of your problems. That's not going to work. Nobody's going to do it. And especially if they've heard a little bit of dishonesty, they're not going to show up, okay? The manager has the responsibility of making the first move. Respect. Listen and show you value people. You have to show people that you value or they don't know that they're valued. And that builds on the job insecurity, which is what we're addressing right here. We're trying to build trust, show value in the people. By the way, you hired them. So you have to be the one that makes the first move. Listen, be approachable, and go show that you value people. Show that you're trying to be likable and that you like them, you enjoy their presence. That goes a long way. Fairness, recognize. Catch them doing something right. If they come up with a new idea, they get credit. It's okay. The manager, it's almost like who's more afraid, the employee or the manager? It really is like that, because the manager has to keep this power distance and keep this this impression that they're untouchable and all of this. So, hey, share the wealth and go recognize people. Give them credit. If a customer service situation gets fixed, give them credit. Be predictable. I think that being predictable, if you're not predictable, what are the people gonna? You're a hothead one day, you're aloof the next day, you're the joker the next day. That's confusing to the employee. I will say, because I'm thinking right now when I hit predictable, of a manager, and I've probably mentioned this in another class, the best manager I think I've ever had. Very understanding. He did all of this, all of it. He was out there in the operation and building trust and relationships. Yeah, he knew about your family. It was just a great working experience. One night he lost it. People didn't want to due to the weather, they didn't want to do what he asked them to, and he lost it. But having so much credibility over the years, being predictive, we knew that if he lost it, it was our fault. So that was okay. He was still respected, just probably even more the next day. Be competent. Know the job and study people. Even you have managers that know the job, but they don't study people, and that's why we're here. This isn't just to pass a test. It's to make the operation better, to make you a better leader, better manager. So you have to study people, which is exactly what we're doing right now. So you're on the right track there. Know the job. Sometimes knowing the job isn't possible because you get placed into a new area and you don't have a lot of experience there. But the employees might have been there for 4 or 5 years. I actually had a manager come up to me and say, "What is your name? What are you doing? And what are you supposed to be doing?" It was that bad. She didn't know the operation. But of course, we gave her time to learn, and we helped her learn the operation. But sometimes the manager won't know exactly everything that goes on in the operation at first. And that's the time when you need your employees the most. Personal relationships, a lot of managers go, no, they'll run over you, they'll take advantage of you. I'm saying no, relationships. Build them. That's the basis of trust, the real basis. So now that we've built trust and we've gotten to know the employees, they trust us, they're more secure, they have a lower fear factor, a higher job security feeling. Now we could move over to empowering them, where we share the power. A lot of times the manager doesn't like to share the power, but it is in the manager's favor if they do, because this way things get fixed quicker. We're going to train and trust and share the power. Give them, the employees, once they're able, permission to fix problems. They don't have to come ask the manager for every little thing. They have their realm, which could be built week by week on the things that they could do. Also, this goes into participative management. Give them more say in the organization, more say with the processes, more say in how we can fix customer problems. It is the customers that we need to make happy too, Move decision making to the lowest level possible. If we train and as we go along, we can push more of the decision making to the employee and fully trust them. Now we arrive at the what I would call an extreme self-managed teams. Groups of employees granted administrative oversight for their work. They act as their own supervisors. They plan, schedule, and monitor quality, etc. Here, the group is so capable, They all know their roles, they know their positions. They are able to basically manage themselves. The problem with this is it's always management. No management's better than bad management. First, do no harm. Sutton, I think. Management feels left out, so that's a problem. Our little baby manager's doesn't have the self-worth that they used to have. But that's okay, because management could be in charge of more operations or more parts of the organization and experience challenge as well. So here we have the self-managed teams where they basically do their time, their scheduling. They own the operation. Now this, according to the text, results in productivity going up. Attitudes towards work go up. We're treated as responsible adults. This is our operation. If things go wrong, it's going to be more of our fault. So I feel like an adult here, and therefore pride would go up because I'm trusted. I'm treated like a responsible adult, and I've been given accountability, and most people kind of like that. But with the self-managed teams, that doesn't mean there's not a leadership presence. We have to have, in my opinion, a leader that still has a presence, is still there, still influential, and guiding through values what the self-managed team does and what their priorities are and their values. So there we go. Trust, building trust. We get people on the team, then we can empower them, and then they can basically manage themselves. This gives management more time to work on the vision, and maybe more time to work on problems, to anticipate problems, to make continuous improvement things to increase the quality. So there we go. Build trust, empower, and let them take care of things on their own with leadership.